Okay, team. Uh, Welcome to the day 10 of LoadRunner session. And so this is the final day for the LoadRunner session. And today we're going to discuss about the resume preparation and interview questions for the LoadRunner. So, team, let's start with the first resume preparation. Let me finish up the body part first, heading part. Okay, team. First, let us complete the common things. So, resume for regular, like supposed to mention the name. If you're working with any company, just mention the company name. Let me mention this on the heading part. Okay, as the parallel to this, just we have to just mention about the contact and email, as you know, the basic things. For the initial things, let me take a sample resume also. One sec. Maybe I'm having some sample resume with me. One sec. Okay, so I just took one sample resume. I've edited like so you can just use the same thing. So if you already have a certification, HTTP certification, or any other certification, if you want to mention the logo, you can just mention the logo in the heading part. Okay. And for the first, as you're done with this, you can just mention about your experience. Experience summary. Let me highlight this one. I'll try to use, instead of Arial, I'll try to use okay. So experience summary, you can just add your experience. If you already have any IT experience, currently IT experience, you can just mention about the current IT experience. Or else if you already have experience in the manual testing, or else like into any other automation testing experience, working in any company, you can just put your current experience or previous experience. Okay, so as for your QA, or else if you're already a performance test engineer in any company working different platforms, so you can just mention your own experience in this part. Let me just add like if you want, you can just mention like having some 3.5 years experience. Okay, 3.5 years experience of IT, having 3.5 years of IT experience. Experience and performance testing, or else if you have any other experience like manual performance, you can just mention, or else overall testing, you can just mention. If you have overall experience, you can just also mention overall experience. Overall experience in testing. So all your experience summary would be mentioned here. Okay, next you can go with the technology. Just to come to the area, just change it. Okay, technology, like you can also say like what are the technical skills you have. For this, let me use table so it looks effective. So, table, we mentioned some 6 or 7. Okay, let me go with 7. So in technology, you can just mention like what are the operating systems you have on exposure. Operating system that you have exposure on, like Windows 7, XP, Linux, or Mac. And next you can also go with the language that you know, like C++, Java, you mentioned somewhere. Windows 7, XP, Linux, language you can just go like what are the language you know, like Java, HTML, .NET. PHP, etc. Next, if you want, you can also mention about the DBMS or database tool which you have worked or which you have a knowledge on. DBMS. probably you should have the knowledge on any DB or database tool for LoadRunner. That's like Oracle. Testing tools, any testing tools if you have used, you can just also go with the testing tools. Okay, any testing tools that you have used. So you know, like testing tools like QTP, Selenium. LoadRunner also comes under testing tool. Or we can also say RFT. We have self test. So, self test and project management tools, like some of the project management tools, like let me just tell you. Tools. Increase this one. Tools. Service. So it can be like QC, which comes on project management tool, or it's like ALM, and the server like maybe a web logic server, or JBoss. Utilities we have. You can also mention the utilities here, like any if using Selenium, it could be like a Eclipse memory analysis. Eclipse memory analysis. Or I didn't mention about testing tools, so it's also LoadRunner. So if it's LoadRunner, the utility may be a performance center. And if you're using any bug tracking tools, so you can also go with the bug tracking tools. Bug tracking. Bug tracking tools, the tools which you use to report the bugs to the developer. So bug tracking tools like Bugzilla, Zira, Mantis, or DaveTrack, etc. So next, like you have to mention with the technology that your skills. Okay, so first experience summary, then the technology. Then once you're done with this technology, next about the summary, you can say professional summary also, you can see. Professional summary. So professional summary most probably it will be coming for the LoadRunner side. So if you're applying for LoadRunner, so that would be like you can just mention few points like understanding the non-functional requirements, the non-functional requirements, non-functional requirements, and workload analysis. So this could be one point from LoadRunner, so or else from performance testing, or other point you can also mention like develop performance test plan strategy, develop performance test plan or strategy. You can also mention a point like develop performance test scripts using industry standards testing tools like LoadRunner. Develop performance test scripts using industry standards. Okay. Using industry standards. Standard tools like LoadRunner. Okay. Next, like design load, stress and volume scenario for performance testing based on workload characterization. So design load, stress and volume scenario for performance testing based on workload characterization. Workload characterization. One more point you can add, like execute performance test and analyze results, that we know already. We have done this in the LoadRunner also. Execute performance test and analyze results. So we got some 5 points. If you want, you can make one more point, like additionally providing tuning recommendation for performing improvements. What is this? Providing provide tuning recommendation for performance improvement. Okay, altogether I got 6 points. There's one more important point I can also mention. One sec. Okay, there is like generate performance monitoring reports for post and production scenarios. So this also is important point, and you can mention this one too, like generate performance monitoring reports. Yesterday I've seen this in the last class, the day 9 class. I've showed you how to generate the reports. Okay, for post production. So team, these are simple summaries. So if you can also mention these points. So I've just made it simple for you. Altogether we have so 6, 4, 7 is enough, I guess. Okay, so what we have done till up to now, it's like mention the contact. So you can just mention the contact. Okay, then experience summary, then technology event. So all this you can mention, or else any other extra skills you have, you can also mention here. You can also summarize them here in this technology. And next, like professional summary, what you know about the LoadRunner and what you do. Okay, so team, after this, like you can go for the projects. If you're worked in any other projects, like if you're working manual project, if you already have experience in manual project. Hello, yes, hello, hello, yeah, this is Kranti. Yes, yeah, Toga, I also see your different name. Okay, okay. Toga, I've seen your chat box yesterday, so let me complete today's class. I'll come to you later. Okay, I've seen your chat yesterday. Yeah. Toga, you do one thing. I guess you got my email ID with you. You can drop your mail to my email ID. I already have your mail. Yesterday I've sent you through the chat. I got your mail. So just send me your availability timings so that I can just discuss about the connections and all. Okay. Yeah, I got your email already. But also just give me a confirmation mail from your side. Okay. Yep. No problems. Okay, that's good. Fine. So we've done with the professional summary. There's one more block. It's very important, like, about the qualification. Of course, we do mention about the qualification. Resume plays a very important role in the interview team. So mention whatever you know. Just summarize everything, whatever you know. So let us make this qualification also in the table. I guess I need only 3. Yeah. So for this one, you just have to mention degree and date. Or so what is your degree? Highest degree and the date. Hello. Yes. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. I Yeah, again. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. So, your name is Raghu. Hello. Yeah, Raghu. See, Raghu, I got your point. And Raghu, whatever the resume preparation I'm showing you now. Okay. Hello, Raghu. Can you hear me? Hello, Raghu. I can hear you. Yes. Go ahead. It depends on your knowledge on the load runner, Raghu. And one more thing, maybe the resume. See, just check with this resume. That's what I'm showing you how to reason the resume. So this plays a major role actually, and so that's what the presentation should be good for the resume. Okay, because most probably your resume will be shortlisted based on the pattern what you how you're mentioning. Okay, so this was a process. First, you have to mention the experience summary and the technologies. Okay, this about your technical skills, then the professional summary. So just try to go with this one. Okay, so probably if these things are not working with this, like whatever I'm demonstrating you today, so you can go with the more than experience and try to have more knowledge on the load runner. Okay, so you can go with up to 3, because maybe you're applying in which country? I guess we have, you can see most probably the requirement for 3+ years experience for load runner. Okay, very less will be finding for 2 years experience. So you can go with 3 years experience. That's not a problem. Okay, but try to gain as much as knowledge you can. Okay, on the load runner. So just check with this resume preparation, Raghu, and if you find any difference, like if you want, if it's like anything you have to change with your resume, just try to change them. Okay, still like if you face a problem, then try to increase the experience also. Okay, it depends on the based on which state and which country you're applying it also. Okay. Hello. Yes, Raghu. Is it clear? Okay, that's good. Fine. So let me just go with this one. So check with my resume. Okay, how I'm designing it. So try to do the same thing. Okay. So qualification, date and degree is done, and so institute. Next, like from which institute you have passed out. Institute. Next, a major and specialization, like in which, what is the major specialization you have done? Like your last academic education which you have done. You just mention about that. Okay, so that's what you have to mention about these things: the date and the institute as well as the course. Okay. Next, as you done with this one, here now you can apply with the projects. Next is time for projects. Like you can just mention as professional experience, you can say, or you can also say professional assignments. Professional assignments. So professional assignments. team, you can just mention separately if you want. Also, it's better you also use table for this one, because table always it looks good whatever you perform. So let me check like how many those I need. X6. Yes, I need for project name, duration, client, what the project goes. So all over it comes from 9 I required, I guess. 8 I can manage. So use the tables every time. So let me go with this one. So first, what you have to mention about the project name, then duration. Okay. So project name, what is the project actually? So you have worked on, just have to mention the project name and the duration of the project, how much time it took to complete the project. So in what time I can mention that. Hmm. So from what time to what time, the duration of project. Okay, and next, like about the client, obviously you have to mention about the client. So we can know about like about the project. Good, if you mention about the client also. It's mandatory to mention about the client when you mention the project. Okay, so in the interview, no more issues will be raised if you mention about the client. Okay, so next one, like about the project. About the project, you have to just give some description of the project. Okay, it could be the description. Yes, yes, Raghu. Yeah, actually, see, this particular we use a scripting. It can be like learned only with experience. Okay, but we have some key scriptings where most probably it is asked in interviews, and most probably we'll be using these things in the interviews. So I'll do one thing. I'll just just drop me your mail with this query. Okay, I'll try to send you the copy of it so that you can just go through them. Okay, at least if not, I'll try to give you some websites so that it would help you out with the scripting and all. Okay, but we don't require to learn all the things. Just we have few like key scripts. That is enough for us. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I got your point. I got your point. Yeah. See, I do train on QTP also. I have many other batches on QTP. I do train on scripting also on QTP. And I already worked on QTP in real time. So see, whereas QTP is different and LoadRunner is different. So most probably QTP, it should be worked on scripting. Nowadays it's very less worked on the tool, so rather than tool we are working on scripting a lot. Okay, so that's why we are focusing mostly on the VB scripting, but LoadRunner is quite different from QTP because the performance testing, so everything, the 90% of testing will be done in only on the tool, whereas only 30 or 20% will be scripting. This so what is the query you have, that's a good one. So you should also have a exposure if you want to apply more experience, so you should also have a knowledge on scripting. This is good. Okay, so I'll try to like suggest you some websites, or else, I'll write I might be having some document also on the we use scripting. Okay, so I'll try to share with that. I'll try to share that with you. Okay, just drop me your mail. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I got it. See, the the yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I got it. I was able to say the same thing. What I told you, the key steps is nothing but the functions most probably. So if you know about the functions, then that would be more than enough for us to know about the scripting. Okay. So before going for script, knowing about the functions, but you should have a full exposure on the load runner. First, try to have a grip on the tool, then later go with the functions. I'll try to send you a soft copy. Also, I'll try to give you some suggestions on some websites so that you can go through over them. Okay? Yeah, that's good. You can definitely you can just send me like whatever suggestions you want from me, or whatever help you want from me. You can just drop me your mail to me. Definitely I'll respond for you. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so fine, let me go with the next one. So as we have done with the about the project, and like it's about, just have to give mention the small description of the project so that it can give you an overview of the project. Okay, so next one, like about the role, like what role you are placing there. It's like is it like a senior tester, senior performance tester, or performance test engineer? Definitely if you are applying with experience, so it will be a senior test engineer, or performance tester, or else only a performance tester, or else if it's a lead, it would be a performance lead, performance test lead. We say also performance lead. So it will just go with the basic one, performance tester. And next one, like activities. Activities will also come again as roles and responsibilities. So what are the roles and responsibilities that you have done in your company or in your project, of that project, roles and responsibilities of this project. Roles and responsibilities of project. And next you can also go with the technical platform. technical platforms. That would be any kind of servers that you have used for the project. So it may be like a Citrix server, that could be VDI, let me say virtual or virtual machine, or VMware client. Okay, then it may be also SQL server. So, but what is the current version we have? 2010. That all we're using. Or if you want, you can just increase like Windows Server. So whatever you used in the project. So you can just mention with the server that, like, I can go with. I can say like a 2008. That is R2. R2 I can mention. Next, I can mention about the location where I've worked. It's not so much mandatory, but if you want to mention, you can just also mention the location also where you have worked, the state and the country. Just mention the state and the country. State and the country. Okay. So here we're done with the assignments. If you want, you can increase the same thing. Like continuing with, if you want to mention more projects, like let me mention that I'll just copy this. I can copy this part. Okay, I can. So if you want to apply for more projects, you can just paste it over here. So that would become like a project 1. This will become project 2. So you can just increase this one. So far we have done the projects also, how to assign the projects. So as we done with this, what is our next step? Next step is about the career profile. Career profile. Career profile also I'll try to make it in an table. So I guess this is enough. Career profile, I'll be mentioning only the dates, organization and information. So, oh, I got 3, no problems. So that would be dates, designation, organization. So in what all companies I've worked. Most probably try to mention the relevant designations that you have worked. So if it's the performance testing, at least if you have a manual, that would be a plus point, like you can add it. So if you have a knowledge, or if you have experience in manual testing, if you have some work in somewhere, so not in any other organization, like if the development also, it may work as a tester. So for performance tester also it may work, but instead of IT, if you have any other work experience, so I don't mention it in this category. So this will be only for the IT environment experience. So where you worked, if in any other domains, if you worked, or if you worked in database testing or manual testing or any other testing related part, it would be good if you can mention about it. Or similar, if you worked in performance testing in any other organization, so the past experience, you can just summarize here, like it would be like from, then again like from to. So from which date to which date you have worked. So let me just mention from I just have to additional columns with me, so I'm just trying to use them. So you can, if you based on your experience, you can just add up more and you can just do. So organization, from which company it is, company 1 or company 2, from which company you have started. Designations, whatever your work as role. So as I told you, it is this, perform test or manual test or whatever your destination may be, you can just mention the your destination. And so coming to the next point, training consultancies, training. Continue. If you have, if you're done with your training anywhere, so like how you're posting your training uh, in software testing help. So if you're already done with any other training later, so you just in past, you can also mention or quote them. So for this, I'll be also mentioning. So see, it's look good. Like if you go with the tables everywhere, just if you summarize everything in the tables, it look good. See, whatever I mentioned till now, you can just see. This looks in good format. Yeah. So come down and just try to finish up this one. I can also give you some, yeah, 3. That would be program, uh, program, or course. What we have done, program or course, what we have done, and institute where you have trained in. Institute where you trained in. Also the year in which year you have trained. So this is necessary to mention. So what are the course you have trained in, which institute, so try to mention about them. So this also will be useful for you. And next, you can, if you want, you can also mention the achievements. Oh. Let me be coming here. So achievements, so what are the achievements you have, like it may be any certifications you got, and any like so in previous companies, like if you have any uh, uh, performance certifications, performance certificate, if you got, like best performance for the month or for the year, might be getting in. So if you're getting performance certification, you can just mention certifications, performance certification, or any other certification that you have achieved. So you can just mention here them here. So if you don't have any certification, you can just avoid this achievement. Next, you can go with the personal details. This will be the final thing. So personal details. So personal details. You can also go with the personal details, like just with the same table. I'm just checking hardly some 4 5, and you can increase based on your. Oh, this is not the one. I should be getting only 2. Hope this is enough. Personal details, like again it could be a name, it may be a date of birth and gender. Marital status, and languages, like the known language. What are the language you know? If you want, you can increase them. If you want, you can increase your personal details, and you can just increase this one. Okay, so that's it. You have done with this. It will be a declaration here. It will be declaration. So what is the declaration? If you want, you can just mention. And lastly, you can just mention your name. So I just mentioned like Harsha. And once you're done with this, so mention your full name. Then below, just mention your date. Just mention here as date. Just mention the date. This would be done. So you can just see. Just let me check from starting again. So it's Harsha. So I just mentioned Harsha. Okay. Also underline. So I'll just have a look up here. So that is like I can just. Okay. So first your name and your email ID, contact details. This is the certification. If you done, if you have any logo to insert, you can just go with the logo. Starting stage, and next like experience summary. So this would take some lengthy lines. Okay, then you can also go with the technology. Then what are the skills? You know, technical skills. You can just summarize them in the table, and yes, professional summary. This would be important. So this, try to mention these things. This is very important. Okay. Yep. Try to mention this. There are only 8 points. Yeah, 7 points. And about the qualification would be next, and professional assignment, like about the project details and all, duration. So you can just increase them based on the project. And next you can also see about the career profile. Should be having like space. Okay. Yeah. So career profile, training summary, training or education summary, achievements, professional details, and declaration. Then you name it. So this will go. So we need to do the full name. I can use the same. Okay. Yep. So this is what. Okay. So team, we have done with the resume preparation. Okay. So hope you can also go with a good resume preparation and try to summarize all your details like this. Fine. Let me save it. You can also forward you later. Okay. So team, the next topic for us, like it is the interview questions. Let me go through some of the interview questions, which is covering from the basic part but advanced. If you're trying for more and more years experience, so better it would. I'll suggest to go with uh, the recommended websites and the material. Okay, team. So let me start with the interview questions. So interview questions, first one we have here, like what is a performance testing? That is like already I've discussed in the initial stage. I told you like it's a definite question they may ask you, what is performance testing, and the basic one you have to answer this. So performance testing, as I told you, it is to just check with basically you can say performance testing is nothing but to check with the load and stress of the application in any condition. And if we are differentiating, if we are asked about like difference between performance testing and load testing, then you have to say performance testing is to just check the response time of the user action, and load testing you can say it is to increase the load users on the scenario. This is what we have. What is load testing? Okay. You can also see what is parameterization and why is parameterization necessary in the script. Obviously, parameterization is necessary for automation. Uh, uh, so most probably, if it's in other tools also like a QTP or else if it's a LoadRunner or any other tool, if it's Selenium also you have parameterization. So each and every automation tool has parameterization. Okay, so what is parameterization? First of all, parameterization you can just check with the definition here. Replacing hard-coded values within the script with a parameter is called as parameterization, which is also called as data-driven testing. Okay, I already explained you clearly what is this parameterization testing. Okay, what is this parameterization? Okay, so it may be on the day 6, I guess, day 6 or day 7. You can just refer the video again for the parameterization. Okay, and why is the parameterization necessary? I guess already this one also I have demonstrated you in the same video session. Okay, so because when we have a large number of data to be assigned for the single scenario, okay, then we'll be using a parameterization. You can just see the definition here, the continued as like the this helps a single virtual user to use different data on each run. So on each scenario, also on each iteration, we can say different data on each iteration. This stimulates real-life usage of application as it avoids server from catching results here. This one. And next you can see about the how to identify what to correlate and what to parameterize. So how to identify, this is one of the important questions they may ask you in the interview. So as for the junior level, also for senior level also they may ask you this question. So correlate, you can just say like let me just explain you in my words. See, correlation you can do it once the execution is done. Once the execution is done, you can assign the correlate and you can run the script again. Okay, so it is for the second rerun we'll be using correlate. Okay, and parameterization we can do it while recording, or else we can do it after recording also, giving the number of inputs to it. And correlation is to only to to like to handle the dynamic values, we can say. So just like, let me check with the definition also. Any values in the script that changes and on each iteration or with a different user while replaying needs correlation. That's it. Okay, and any user input will while recording should be parameterized as I said. Okay. Next one, you can see what is correlation. Already we discussed, and let me check. Like we have one more definition here. Like one more question here. What is correlation? Explain the difference between automatic correlation and manual correlation. So correlation is to handle the dynamic values in the script, as I told you. Okay, and the dynamic values could change for each user action. So see, correlation team. I guess this one we have done in the day 8. Yeah, day 8 session. check with them. I've mentioned clearly by taking some exercise on it, and I've showed you clearly what is correlation and how can we do the correlation manual automation. So in simple, we can just say correlation is to handle the dynamic values in this case. Okay, and what is automatic correlation, what is manual? So automatic correlation can be done by using LoadRunner tool. Okay, so LoadRunner tool itself can parameterize the dynamic values, but manual correlation is nothing but we have to find the dynamic value by using web wdiff that we have seen already on when we have performed this correlation by analyzing the wdiff window. So we have to analyze what is the dynamic values, and we have to parameters by our own. Manually we have to do it. So this difference between manual correlation and automatic correlation. Whereas in automation correlation, we don't need any wdiff, and we don't need to check with any no need of analyzing any dynamic values. Directly the LoadRunner itself will show you the dynamic values, and you can do it. But most probably in the real time, it is recommended to go with manual correlation. Okay, next one. While scripting, you created correlation rules for automatic correlation. If you want to share the correlation rules with your team member working on the same application so that he or she can use the same on his workstation, how will you do that? So this is a good question, maybe asked in the question in the interview, because this from the real-time questions. So you have a .or file. We'll be using .or file to export. So let me tell you. So if you have here correlation rules can be exported through .or file. So when we export the correlation, we can also do the correlation export. So when we export the correlation file, it comes under .cor file, and the same file can be imported from other regions. So we can export them, and we can also import them to other view file. And what is the file? It is .cor file. Okay. Next team, you also have how do you identify which protocol to use for any application? If you check with the day 5 session, I've explained you about protocol, how to identify which protocol to be used for the application. We'll be using the protocol advisor. You can also see here the protocol advisor, and you also maybe when you answer this question, we use the protocol advisor to identify which protocol is suitable for the application. So we'll take the help of protocol advisor, and if you answer this one, immediately you'll be asked a question. One more question is, when this protocol advisor has been implemented in the LoadRunner, on which version? So the version is 9.5. So 9.5 version, we have this protocol advisor. Okay. Next one. What are the different sections of the script? In what sequence does these sections runs? So these initial stage itself we have done. There are only 3 sections. One is vUser init, action, and vUser end. As I told you, team, vUser init will be used for the login, most probably for login. Okay, logging into the server. And vUser end will be used for the logout, logging out from the server, application server. And whatever activity that we do between these two, those comes under action. Okay. The sequence would be first vUser init. Obviously, first we have to log in into the application, then we will perform whatever we want in the application. That comes an activity which we say as an action. And after action we have vUser end. So the sequence is vUser init, action, and vUser end. Next, what are the different components of the LoadRunner? As we very familiar with this one, we know we have 4 different components. Like we know like 3 different components what we see, but we have one more component which is inbuilt with the controller. Okay, that is load generator. You can just see them. So we have 4 components here. VUgen, that is nothing to record the script. Okay, initially, so that we can get the scripts. We can get the scenario. Sorry, get the operation of the scenario into the user scripts. Okay, then we can use the scripts into the scenarios for the controller. Then we have to assign the load, we have to create the load generator. Why we use the load generator? An agent through which we can generate the load. So that's what I also showed you, how to create the load generator team. So we here as in our session, I have took the IP of that current application, then I have generated the load for it. Okay, then the last one is analysis, like just to check the results. So we can go with the reports or graphs with it. Okay, next team we have next question, explain performance test lifecycle. Already we have done with this one, and here also I'm mentioned very clearly. So step one would be like system analysis. We have to go through the requirements of the system. Okay, then next one, once we're done with the requirement, we have to create the virtual user scripts, that is recording part. Then we have to run them to check whether the script is recorded correctly or not. That comes in the third step. The fourth step, creating the load scenario, that is into the controller. And fifth step, running the scenario and monitoring the performance. We have seen this one. Sixth is analyzing this. The performance testing lifecycle in LoadRunner is very easy. We hardly have 6, and we already seen this one. Okay, so it's also easy to explain, I hope. Okay, so next question is, what is the difference between performance testing and performance engineering? It's very easy to explain. Performance testing is a tester, one who identifies the bugs and who reports the bugs to the developers, and the performance engineers are the developer from the performance side, so who resolves the issue and gives a solution for it. Okay, those are the performance engineers. Okay, next one we have how you identify performance test use case of any application. Performance test use case, this was from tricky question. So perform test case or use case for performance test are almost same as any manual functional testing test case, where each step performed by the user is written. So just what the same, like, so what are the user actions we have to expect them, and we have to perform our test cases. Okay, that comes under test case. So based on it may be any application, we'll check from the user point of view, and we'll prepare our test cases. And whereas when compared to functional testing, the performance testing test cases is very easy to plan it. Okay, and we just continue with this one. So we have here like the only difference is that all manual test cases can't be performance test use cases, as there are few criteria for the section as. So definitely yes. So as already I've discussed this one the last class also, what is performance what is manual analysis, manual test analysis for performance, and what is automation performance analysis. The same thing you can just see here. The difference what I've showed you, I've just elaborated here. So that is like we have 3 differences that we can't perform in manual, which we can do it only in performance testing. So the user activity should be related to critical and most important functionality of the application. This would be the next one. Also, the user activity should be having good amount of database activity, such as search, delete, and insert, obviously. Okay, so next one, third, the user activity should be having good user volume, that is like to generate the users. The functionality having less user activity in generally omitted from performance testing point of view, obviously. So this what we can't just go with to understand this one better, team. First you just go with the day 9 session, where I've explained you, where we have exercise on this one on the paint. I've taken the paint and I took the maximum time to explain this one, so it's very detailed explained there about this manual testing and performance testing. Okay, just go to them, and then you can go with this question. Okay, and next one we have, what are the different types goals in goal oriented scenario we have. We have 5 types of goals we have. Those are concurrent users, the number of users what you assign, that comes in the concurrent users. And hits per second, I already told you, number of requests sent to the server, and the transactions per second, like number of transactions done for particular action. And pages per minute, so how many pages you have loaded per minute. And response time, transaction response, the response what you get from the server. So these are can be customized in goal oriented scenario. As per the freshers is not required, you can just go with the manual oriented scenario. Okay, now next, how is VUGen script modified after recording? Yeah, so we have a few processes like where we modify the script once we record it. So those are like transactions we do, parameterization we do, or correlation, variable declarations we have done with the transactions, parameterizations, correlation, also variable declarations. Also we have done with the checkpoints and randomized points. So team, whatever we have done all comes under the modification we have did with all these things. Okay. Next we have what is ramp up and ramp down. So team, in the current version we don't have these terminologies called ramp up and ramp down. We have, instead of ramp up, we have user start and we have user end. User start and user end, where we have this one in the controller module, in the controller utility we say. So ramp up would be the start user in that. So nothing but as already I've explained you, rate at which virtual user add to the load test. Next one, ramp down, rate at which virtual user exit from the load test. So this thing team you have in day 8 video session. So you can just go through them. If you have any queries, you can just clear up in the day video session. Okay. So it's nothing but in the last versions, like the versions below, the below versions of 9th version, 9.5 below versions had the name as ramp up instead of start user. But in the current version we have start user, just the name has been changed. Okay, but the activities is same. Okay. Next one we have how how is each step validated in the script. So how is each step validated in a script? So most probably the validation can be done based on the content what you have in the page. So you can also check this one. So each step in the script is validated with the content on the written page, as I already discussed in the last recording scenario, the day 9 scenario. In I told you like we will be also checking for performance testing. I told you one more point, we'll be also checking like how much content is downloaded on the page. We also test this one. So the validation part, this comes like how much content. So most probably we can check for the text and the images in the web page. Okay, was we have the right text and right images downloaded in the page or not? That's what we'll be validating it. Okay. Okay, so next we have how concurrent uses are different from simultaneous uses. Obviously we have a difference between concurrent uses and simultaneous. We can say both are same, but in some cases, not some cases, both are same, but in many cases both are different. So it's all given the same thing. All simultaneous users are concurrent users, yes. Okay, but the concurrent users can't be a simultaneous users. So concurrent users are not, first of all, what is concurrent users? Concurrent users are nothing but the load users what we assign. We have assigned initially 10 users. The 10 users comes under concurrent users. Okay, but simultaneous users is like who is taking the initiative in that action to participate. So simultaneous can be like so I am assigned the 10 users. So all 10 may not enter into all the actions at a time. So 2 may go first and 3 may go first, and so these comes under simultaneous users. Okay. Okay, that's good. And so we also have a randomized point here. I don't want to confuse you in this point, so I don't take any randomized point here, which is mentioned in this one. So let us just assume just what I've explained you on this concurrent users and simultaneous users. Okay. Next one. What are the capabilities exactly you look for while selecting the performance testing tool. This is this doesn't depends on, like, we can't say directly like we need one sec, let me just go through once. What are the capabilities exactly you look for while selecting the performance testing tool? Yeah, so this depends on many other cases. We have to check for many things to go with the performance, to select the suitable performance testing tool. Like we have 3 points here: testing an application built using multiple technologies. So what are the technologies we are using for the application, and the hardware platforms. So we have to check for the multiple technologies as well as hardware platforms. Okay, this is one case for performance testing tool to select. And one more thing we have to check, like determining the stability of the server of for the application. So we have to also check with the server, and the stability of the server we have to check. Then we can go with this one. We can ensure which tool can be selected for performance. Okay, testing an application with load of tens or thousands or even so, or obviously, so based when we're going with the server, so we have to check with the load. So we have to know how many users will be using that application in extreme cases mostly. So maybe 1,000 users at a time, so maybe for more than 1,000 users or less than 1,000 users. Based on this, we have to select the performance tool. Okay, next one we have the next question is like what is the think time and what is the threshold level for think time, and uh, how can be this changed? So the think time, team, it's nothing but the time which is taking for while recording. We have a think time. Once we done the recording, we have a think time. So that's nothing but how much time the page took to load the page, we say. And while we executing, it comes under wait time. So we just making it to wait. So most probably we won't be giving this wait time, because execution we want it to be done fastly, and this can be done in the execution settings, that we don't want the think time to be taken to the for the execution. But for the threshold time, you have to go with the like for the threshold level of the for the think time, you have to go with the recording options. And like the maximum threshold time, it's around 6,000 seconds that we have. And if you want, you can just customize them by using this navigation. You can just see it in, it's like recording options, then go with the script, then generate think time greater than threshold. So we have this option. You can just minimize or maximize this threshold level. Okay, next you have what is a randomness point? What is randomness point? Randomness point is nothing but it's a meeting point, I can say, team. So it's a meeting point. The function of randomness point is nothing but lr underscore randomness. That's the function name. And randomness point is a meeting point. What type of meeting point it is? It's a point. It's a meeting point for the users. For example, I have assigned the 10 users, whereas all the as I told you in simultaneous users, like they won't go with all the actions at a time, like each action, all of them at a time, but each action can be generated by these users separately. So when when they are going with the action separately, so I can use the randomness point as a meeting point. They can the other, so whoever completing the action, for the next action they can wait for some time for the other users to join them for this action. They can start again from this. They can again start all the 10 users again. They can start with the next action. So that comes as a meeting point, where we can also set as randomness point. Uh, how is automated correlation configured? So we already know this one. As I told you, you can just go with the navigation. You can just okay. Next one, what are the number of graphs you can monitor using controller at the time, and what is the maximum number of them? So you might be asked this question also, team. So be careful about this one. It's very easy answer, but you may neglect this one. So try to also have a knowledge on this one. So we can increase the number from 1 to 4 and 8 graphs we can see at a time, but maximum number of graphs we can monitor like 8 graphs, not more than 8 graphs. Okay, Next one, how do you identify your how do you identify which values need to be correlated in a script? Give an example. So this what team I told you will be using wdef utility. We'll be using wdef utility to identify the correlation, where it will show us the dynamic value highlighting in the yellow color. We can take the session ID, so that's example the session ID, and we can parameter the session ID. That's what we do. That's what we can identify. First of all, it's not asking to resolve, it's just to identify. So I can use wdef utility to identify the dynamic values. That is correlated script. The next one, how many views are required for load testing? How many views are required for load testing? It's a very complicated question. We can't answer this one straightforward because it depends on what is your system, what is the system you're testing, what is the application you're testing, or else what is the network configuration for that application, and what is the hardware settings for that application, and the memory, operating system what you're using, and software application objective for it. So we can't be answer this one. This cannot be answered actually. Okay, so but you have to explain them. We have to analyze all these things to give our output for like how many users are required for the load testing. Okay, next one, what is the difference between pacing and think time? Pacing and think time. Think time already know. Think time is the wait time for the each transaction. But pacing time is for is the wait time for action for every iteration. For each action for every iteration. So one more thing you can say, think time would be generated automatically while recording, but pacing time you will be giving once the recording is done. So pacing time, whenever it's only done when you give the iterations. So when you give the iterations, so action and transaction both are different. You might be having many transactions in one action. So for the transactions you might be having think time, but for action, when you're giving for that action, when you're giving the iterations for action, so to repeat 1 2 3 4, so once the one action is done, to start with the other action, so for the same action to start with the other iteration, we'll be giving some time. That comes under pacing wait time. Okay, next one, how will you divide your script into multiple actions? How will you divide your scripts into multiple actions? This one it's very easy to analyze. So why we will be doing it? That's a good question. Why is a good question. So how you will divide using the actions what we have in the VU gen. That's while we recording we have option for action, so we can choose our action, we can generate our own action, and that's what we can use actions in multiple actions in the script. But why? In the sense like the action increase code reusability, reducing the maintenance time, and enhance decreases the cost. That's what we'll be using the actions, multiple actions in it. Okay, next you can see what kind of problem we can face during the performance testing. What kind of problem we can face during the performance testing. These are the problems. This is also one of the important question. Team, just make a note of this one also. It's a very important question from the interview point of view. Okay, so the problem that we may face, like lack of hardware, or memory leakage, or network related issues, or application software errors, and last thing like a bottlenecks, we can also add it. Okay, so team, for performance testing, simple to remember these points. Simple, like for performance testing we'll be checking all, like we'll be checking the application server, we'll be checking the network response, like network server we can say. We can also check with the database that comes in the memory leakage, we can also check with the hardware server. So all these three comes in. Bottleneck is common for the performance testing, so we will be finding these type of problems. Okay. Next you have what is the difference between transactions and transaction instance in LoadRunner? This you may not be observed in when we are going with the demo tool, but let me explain you here. Transaction would be only the measured time between execution of certain statements that we already know, we have used it, the transactions. We have applied the transaction also. But what is a transaction instance? Team transaction instance, you'll be observing this in the analysis part. So transactions, only transaction can be observed in the view gen, and the transaction instance can be observed in the analysis part. So both are different. Okay. Next one. What would be your recommendation to prove performance measurements? We have a lot of points to be done, but I just took the major points. You can just go with these points. Okay. What would be your recommendation to improve performance measures? So these may be a question from the interview point of view. To try to make a note of this one also. Okay. So fine tuning of networking, that would be one recommendation, and to improve the performance measures, one is lead database, and application and web server is recommended. So to go separately, if you check individual points, you can see at the network level, try to optimize the latency and bandwidth. Next one, for database level, verify all indexes and sequence by running profilers. You may also optimize your database queries here. Okay. Next one, like application server, like about application server, runs profilers for finding the memory leaks in the application. Next, like web, can use you can use monitors and optimize the throughputs and other related metrics of the server. So instead of explaining all these points, you can just go with this saying, like to improve the performance, you can just go with the fine tuning of work network, database, and application and web servers. That is important. Okay. Next, you have down one more question. Where should you add a web reg save parameter? Most probably it's for correlation we have done, and this for dynamic values we know. Okay, so this also may be asked because correlation is a very important topic. There is a different question from the interview for the correlation. They may ask you anything from the correlation, so this also might be one of the important question. Okay, so before the step that retrieves the dynamic value, so this will be used in the correlation for the dynamic values. Okay. Next, so yes, I've done with this thing. I've done with the interview questions. So I've done with also the resume preparation. So this is the last day for us, day 10, and I've done with the resume preparation and the interview questions. Hope this would be helping you a lot for the interview point of view. Okay. Good luck.